Hi everyone, this is Alan again of the Truly Rich Club blog. We have a special guest today. We have Miss Joey of the Truly Rich Club. She's the one who people seek help to in opening their COL Financial accounts, and she's here to help you start your stock investing with COL Financial by giving you tips and steps you could take to open your own account. So, hello, Miss Joey. Thank you for taking time to talk with us.
Hi everyone. Well, thanks for inviting me. I feel honored.
Yes, we feel the same way as well. So, maybe let's go right into the questions and help people out in opening their account. So, what? How can person start investing in
In stock.
stocks? Yes.
Okay. Well, first they must have an account with a brokerage firm.
Mhm.
And with Truly Rich, our recommended brokers COL Financial, formerly Citysec Online, which is owned by Mr. Edward Lee, who happens to be one of the financial mentors of Brother Bo
Mhm.
Sanchez. And the initial investment needed is only 5,000 pesos
Mhm.
and a form to fill out, which they can get directly in COL's office or download from their website, colfinancial.com, or
Mhm.
from my blog, callmejoey.blogspot.com.
Mhm.
And once they've filled out the form, they have three choices. They can either go to COL's office personally to submit it.
Mhm.
They just need to show their ID, and they'd be the ones to photocopy for them
Mhm.
the ID. Or they can ask for their documents to be picked up if they're within the Metro Manila. They just have to call the hotline 651-5888,
Mhm.
or they can mail the application. And just a note for non-appearance,
Mhm.
aside for a copy of the ID, they need to
Mhm.
attach a bill statement like water bill, credit card
Uh-huh.
bill, phone, cable, electric bill, or any bank statement. And once approved, they can then fund their account.
Okay. So, with regard to the requirements for IDs, they do need to present government IDs.
Yes,
Is that
any
right?
government ID.
So,
Yes,
if
any government ID.
passport,
So
driver's
SS,
license.
passport, yes. Just make sure that the signature is clear when they photocopy if they're mailing the documents, make
Mhm.
sure that the signature is clear. If not, then just photocopy the ID. And on the photocopy itself, they have to sign three
Mhm.
times.
Okay. For our friends who are living abroad, would the process be the same, or would
Yeah,
it be, yeah?
it would be the same. I mean, for Filipino citizens, it would be the same. They just have to provide the ID and their ID and bill statement.
Mhm.
So, in our case, I mean, we do have a contact person inside call,
Mhm.
and what we would suggest is that they scan their documents and email it to that person, to our point person in call, so that at least there won't be any delays
Mhm.
if if the ID isn't, if the signature isn't clear, if that's not an accepted ID, if they didn't have a copy of their passport, whatever. So just to smooth out the process, they have
Mhm.
to email or scan the
Mhm.
documents first, and then once they get a go signal, then they can mail
Mhm.
the documents and the app. They really have to mail the application itself,
Mhm.
because all needs the original signature, needs to see the
Right.
original signature.
Mhm. So I guess it's just the same process. You just have to send it internationally via courier.
Yes.
Okay, but you could
Yes.
send the documents in advance via a scanned copy, then send it via email.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Once they send the email copy, the processing will already start. Then, or
No, not
oh,
really. They just, just to make sure that it won't
mhm.
get delayed, the processing
Right,
won't get
right.
delayed.
So they could have.
Because some people, they've been waiting for like months already. I think there were members who were complaining.
Mhm. So I guess it could send the scanned copies first, then have call check it. Then if there's still some
Yes,
deficiency,
yes.
they could get it first before sending it physically. to the
Yes.
Philippines, right? Okay, so that's
Yeah.
good.
Well,
Then, mhm,
if they're not members of the Truly Rich Club,
mhm.
then they can just send it to helpdesk@colfinancial.com.
Okay,
That's their email.
right.
So have it checked first. Yes.
So, like, I know that you have a lot of kids. Like, I think you have five, right? So,
Yes.
so it's a very fun household, and I think, of course, there are parents that
Noisy.
noisy. So I guess there are parents as well who wants, maybe looking at the long term, wants to open an account for their children at an
Yes.
early age. So how do they do that?
Okay, well, it's basically the same,
Mm-hmm.
but there's an additional requirement. It's called an ITF form.
Mm-hmm.
So on the form, the parent would be the principal
Right.
account holder, and the minor would be the secondary account holder.
Mm-hmm.
And the parent just have to download the additional ITF form that's in
Mm-hmm.
trust for
Interesting.
form.
Okay.
Yes, they need
The
to sign it.
minimum
That's the only
requirements.
additional.
Sorry. The minimum requirements in terms of funding is the same.
The
Right.
same, yes.
Okay. So, what are the types of accounts available? Like, if I'm gonna open an account, are there different types of accounts that?
Yes.
So, what would be the
Mhm.
best one for beginners who want to dive into stock
Okay.
investing?
Alright. Well, with call, they have three types of accounts: EIP starter, EIP plus, and EIP premium. The minimum investment for the starter is only 5,000 pesos. For the plus, it's at least 25,000, and for EIP premium, it's at least 1M.
Mm-hmm.
For TRC members, I usually just advise them to open a starter account
Mm-hmm.
because even if they have like 25,000, over
Mm-hmm.
25,000 to invest initially. Why? Because the only difference is that the homepage of the EIP Plus is more dynamic with streaming codes and data, and it's more for active traders really who
Mm-hmm.
need to watch the market 24/7.
Right.
But we're not active traders. We're just
Mm-hmm.
gonna be long-term investors, so
Right.
we're not gonna be watching the market
Mm-hmm.
24/7.
Right. And
The starter would be okay for us.
mhm. And I think one of the benefit of the EIP, which is the starter program, is they could you could schedule like the time when you invest in the stock market. Like you could in you program that the system would email
At the
you maybe
scheduler.
yeah, scheduler. So maybe
Yeah, but that's for all types of
okay.
EIP. What do you call it? The accounts.
Oh,
Everything has the scheduler. So since it's EIP, it's Easy Investment Program. So they have this scheduler where you can just schedule like monthly. You would be buying a certain type of stock,
mhm.
how much amount and for how long. And if you do that though, with TRC, kasi we use the strategic averaging method,
Right.
right? So we buy if the price is within the buy below price, and then once we reach the target price, Brother Bo recommends us to sell.
Mhm.
But if you're using the scheduler of call, then you would be using the peso cost averaging.
Mhm.
Like, so I advise our members not to turn that on, that
Right.
scheduler, because
Okay.
that's actually for those who don't have any guidance, right?
Right.
But with us TRC members, we do get monthly stock updates and stock alerts from Brother Bo and Mike Viñas.
Mhm.
So we actually don't need to be guided by that scheduler because
Okay.
Brother Bo himself would be giving us the
Mhm.
guide.
The important thing is you need to remember like when you should have a regular interval of when you invest, like you do it monthly or twice a month.
Yes.
You just need to stay
Yes.
disciplined, otherwise you might miss buying stocks then they might go up, or you'll not be able to take advantage of like the cost averaging part of the SAM, which is the strategic um,
Averaging method.
averaging method. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
So
that's a good thing about being a TRC member because you do get emails, right? Stock
right,
alerts and
right.
stock updates from
Mhm.
Brother Bo, and we do have like the Facebook account that we have, the
Mhm.
exclusive social site
Right.
that he had created for us. So
Mhm.
it's just like a forum for all TRC members where we get our updates, and we can ask anyone there for help. So that's the guidance that you need right there. So the scheduler for the call is mostly for non-members of PRC, because who would
Mm-hmm.
guide them, right? Who would
Right.
tell them to buy or to
Mm-hmm.
sell? So they
Yes.
need that. But
Right.
for
Like.
us, we would advise that you just turn it off, because anyway, the guidance that you're getting from TRC is already enough.
Like when you apply, when you download the forms, send it out, and send the initial payment, how long does the process take?
Well, it used to be so quick, just one day when I applied for my accounts, and then the next day you can just, already trade.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's taking longer.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what's going on. Maybe because they have, a huge volume now of applications. Yes.
Uh-huh.
But for those who apply personally, the process just takes less than an hour. So when they go there, within an hour, they get an approval. Then they can already pay, fund their account there in COL's office. But they have to wait maybe 2 to 3 days to get their password.
Okay.
But for those who mail their documents or have them picked up, the approval takes between 3 to 5 days, plus another 2 to 3 days to wait for the password after funding the account.
Okay. So when we send, like when a beginner would send an application, do they need to send the funding immediately? Like would they attach a check or
No.
or
Well,
so?
they don't need to. What I advise, I think I read somewhere in call that they can attach a check, but I wouldn't advise it,
Right.
because they'd have to wait for their own call account number.
Okay.
That's a common, mistake about funding their account. They think that call has its own account number that you would have to deposit the fund to. So they asked me what's call's account number, and I really don't know. I tell them they have to wait for the approval of their application, because they'd be given their own call account number, and the funding for call is like payment. Just
Okay.
like when you're paying your own Meralco bill. So you would apply it as a bill payment. So you get the bill payment form from the bank, and then you write the company name, which is COL Financial Group, and then the subscriber number would be your own call account number.
Right. So it's like just like paying your utility bills, your Meralco,
Yes. Yes.
your water, and it's just
Yes.
paying a bill. It's not really depositing an account to a corporation. It's really paying a bill.
Yes.
So whatever you deposit in their account, it's gonna reflect in your personal account number.
That's right. That's right.
So you could do it, I think, right now at Metrobank, BPI, and BDO.
And BDO, yes.
Both.
And if they
yeah.
have
Go ahead.
if they have online banking, they can just
Right.
enroll their call accounts
Mhm.
again under bill payment.
So you could.
I think I already made a tutorial for BDO and BP.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll link to those tutorials, and I think basically you could do it over the counter, just manually, and you
Yes.
could do it online. So just to
That's
transfer the
right.
funds. Normally,
If manually, they have to ask for a bill payment form, not the regular deposit slip.
plus I think when you deposit, it will reflect in your account the next day. Is that right?
24 to 48 hours if it's beyond the cutoff.
So how do they withdraw their money from their call account?
But it's very easy. There's a withdrawal form that they need to print or download.
Okay.
They just fill out that form. On that form, they could choose to get the withdrawal on a check, or have the money deposited to their own bank account. What I do when I try to withdraw, I just scanned and email the copy.
Okay.
It was easier. I didn't have to present the original. So I just emailed my withdrawal form, and yeah, within the day, if I think the cutoff again is 11 o'clock. So if you do it before 11 in the afternoon, your money is already in your bank.
Okay, that's very easy. And there's
Yes.
there's no charge for withdrawal, right?
None.
None. Okay. I noticed that there's a minimum amount of like deposit to fund your account. For example, I noticed that there's a service charge if you deposit less than 500 pesos.
500.
Right. So
But
it
that's not, from call. I think it's just the bank
from the bank.
charge.
Right. Right. So
Yes.
just in case, there it's varying depending on the bank how much they charge. So it would be best to, if you're gonna fund additional funds to buy stocks, do it more than 500 at a time so that you won't
At least
feel,
500,
yes,
yes.
at least
At least
500.
500.
That I'd like to thank Miss Joey, and maybe you'd like to promote your website where they could find most of the tutorials for opening a call account.
Yeah, my blog tutorials about call financial topics would be found in, what's my website again? Call me Joey. Callmejoey.blogspot.com.
Mhm.
And topics about Truly Rich Club would be found under trulyrichme.com.
Right, great. I'd like to say thanks again to Miss Joey, and if you have any other questions that we weren't able to talk about, please write them at the comment section below, and we'll try to answer all of them. Okay. So thank you, Miss Joey, and
Alright. Thanks.
yes.
It's fun talking to you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you.